Welcome to episode 1. This podcast is our love letter to you, and I'm so excited that you're here. And before we get started on all the myth busting and insider info that we're going to share, I want to zoom out for a second and talk about what's really going on in our world today. At Detox Rejuvenation, Michael and I believe that we're in a cultural age of awakening, with rapid evolution possible on every topic under the sun. We're also almost 8 decades and multiple generations into what I call the era of chemicals, which really took off after World War II with a sudden post-war surplus of oil that had to go somewhere. So they turned it into chemicals, products for consumers, and began spraying it on our foods. And in the last 25 years, we have dramatically sped up that process. So it's now coming to a head in the form of a rapidly unfolding health crisis that we are just beginning to understand. So now we're in this weird position that this amazing age of awakening is getting directly disrupted by our health issues and our exposure to toxicants, which is lowering our IQs, hate to say it, causing inflammation and chronic illness, distorting our emotions, and depleting our life force. According to the EPA, we're importing 250 pounds of chemicals per person per day into the US. That is not including all the shit that we make in-house either. It also doesn't include herbicides, pesticides, fuel, and pharmaceuticals. So where is all that going? Well, some of it is ending up in our food, our water, our air, and in us. We're ingesting enough plastic each week to form a credit card. What goes in does not necessarily come out. And it's still legal to put heavy metals in our food, our personal care products, and medical interventions. And neurotoxins are still commonly used in our food growth and production and in our medicines. We went from 4% of the US adult population having a chronic illness in the 1960s to now 6 out of 10 adults have a chronic condition. And more than half of our kids now have a chronic diagnosis by the time they're 16. So here's another way to think about this that can help articulate why what we used to do for health is not working anymore, or it's working far less. In 2008, a German study discovered that Americans and Europeans had an average of 10 toxins per cell, which is an enormous body burden, right? Well, in 2018, the study was repeated and we had jumped to 500 toxins per cell. And every toxin disrupts the body's ability to do what it naturally wants to do, which is to heal and maintain itself. So our ill health span has more than doubled in the last 10 years. So what does that mean? We can now expect to be in ill health for the last 20 years of our lives instead of the last 10. The data is there for those who look, but it takes 40 years for emerging data to reach mainstream awareness usually. And honestly, we just don't have that kind of time. If you're anything like us, you don't want to wait to feel your best. Whether you consider yourself healthy and just want to be proactive because living clean is important to you and your family, or you're on a healing journey and you're working on getting your life force back, especially if you have digestion, inflammation, or skin issues, fatigue, brain fog, mental distress, distorted emotions, toxin exposure, or pathogens. Yeah, we do talk about parasite and poop a lot here. We are here to support you. This show is designed in a Q&A format, often with bite-sized episodes to help you consider each topic and get actionable steps from each episode. We also have some really awesome friends, so we'll have cool disruptors who are health pioneers on the show from time to time to share their experience and specialties. We'll cover all things health for your body, mind, and home to thrive. Food, gut, lifestyle, and the inner game it takes to thrive in this time. Some upcoming episodes include why you have different food sensitivities, which food filters to learn, and what can really be done to free yourself from those limitations, why your candida or leaky gut keeps coming back, why you get SIBO and why it isn't responding to the typical prescribed treatments, how do liver and gallstones form, and how it's possible to pass them safely without surgery, and the toxic contributing factors to brain fog, anxiety, scattered thinking, and depression, and what can actually be done to support you naturally on your healing journey, the mental and emotional patterns that accompany chronic health issues, and how to support yourself through them, sleep, how to get sleep, stay asleep, feel deeply rested when you wake, and why it's so hard to do that in our modern life, misconceptions about parasites, co-infections, and the truth about these critters, and how to avoid or treat mold and other pathogens, how common toxins are diminishing your life force without you realizing it, dumbing you down, slowing you down, and disrupting your body's natural self-healing mechanisms, sources of exposure, and how to gently detox them once you've been exposed, how to help your family and planet with a toxin-free lifestyle. Everything from cooking to laundry to nail polish, we help you cut through the false claims and greenwashing and discover what really nourishes and heals you, and the mindset support you need to navigate this complex world and make choices to increase your life force, not deplete it. Also, a reality check. I'm not perfect and I'm not expecting you to be either. I have fucked this up 6 ways to Sunday before I ever got anything right. And I'm honestly a giant wuss I'm naturally inclined to be lazy with self-care and stingy with myself, and I am not here to judge. I learned most of this the hard way, and my story is tough. I wouldn't wish what I've gone through on anyone. My motto is, if I can take these steps, so can you. And we're here to help make life easier and more in line with your real values, who you really are, how you'd really like to feel, and how you'd like to really treat our planet, our home, our great mother. So your action step today is to consider, do you have as much energy as you did 10 years ago? As much easy access to the natural well-being as you'd like? Do you really feel like the best version of who you really are, the person you know you can be? If the answer is no, are you ready to do something about it? If you are, keep listening and spread the word. Tune in each week for support, answers, hopefully a good laugh, and a big dose of inspiration and hope. With all my love, Sinclair Keneally. Thanks for listening. Go to detoxrejuvenation.com to find the links in the show notes to everything we covered in this episode. Please subscribe, review, and share with other humans who need this precious information. Let's help each other. Until next time, love, Sinclair.